Please be seated. Pro-Chancellor, graduates, guests and members of the university community, good afternoon and welcome. I'm Bill Patterson, University Secretary and Director of Governance Support. Graduations are one of the university's most important events. This year, the university will hold approximately 50 ceremonies both in Sydney and in Shanghai. On occasion, the university seeks to honour individuals who have made extraordinary impacts upon society through the contributions they have made. Today, the university will bestow a Fellow of the University Award upon an outstanding member of our community. I would now like to introduce to you the official party who are here on stage. Seated at the centre of the stage is Mr. Richard Howes, Pro-Chancellor of the university, who will preside over this ceremony. The Pro-Chancellor is joined today by Professor Glenn Whitewick, Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Vice President Enterprise, Mr. George Savides, AM, who will be awarded a Fellow of the University and also deliver the occasional address, Professor Carl Rhodes, Dean of the UTS Business School, who will be presenting graduates. The other people seated on stage are Emeritus Professor Jenny Onyx, Professor Tony Dooley, Chair of the Academic Board, professors, academics and professional staff from faculties and institutes who have played such a large part in the success of today's graduates. I would also like to acknowledge our members of staff graduating today: Patrick Kelso, Margaret Malone, Luna Nishama, Jonah Newton and Lewis Wales. It now gives me great pleasure to invite Mr. Richard Howes, Pro-Chancellor, to formally open proceedings.
In the name of the University Council, I declare this congregation of the University of Technology Sydney duly assembled. On behalf of the University of Technology Sydney, before we begin the proceedings, and on behalf of all of those present, I would like to acknowledge and pay respects to the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. It's upon their ancestral lands that UTS stands. Similarly, I'd also like to pay respects to the elders, both past and present, acknowledging them as the traditional custodians of knowledge for this place. In this graduation ceremony, we'll celebrate the conferral of awards upon graduates from the UTS's Business School. Today's ceremony marks a great achievement for the graduates and recognises the support that they have received from family and friends, many of whom are assembled here today. We warmly welcome you, and together we celebrate the achievement of the graduates. I'd now like to ask Professor Glenn Whitewick, Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Vice President Enterprise, to present a candidate for admission as a Fellow of the University.
Pro-Chancellor, the Council of the University established the honour, the Fellow of the University, to be made in recognition of an outstanding contribution to the University's objectives. Pro-Chancellor, I present to you George Savides, AM. George Savides, AM, has more than 30 years of management and board experience in Australia and New Zealand, healthcare companies, government enterprises and not-for-profits. From 2002 to 2016, he was Managing Director of Australia's largest health fund, Medibank Private. During this period, he also served as Deputy President of the International Federation of Health Plans. He served on the World Vision Australia Board for 18 years, including 6 years as Chair, and is currently Chair of the SBS Board of Directors and IMED Radiology Network. Mr. Savides is passionate about advocacy for healthcare sector reform. This is shown by his work to bring about meaningful change for the wider community through the UTS Ageing Research Collaborative, UARC. UARC consists of leading academics from UTS faculties working with industry leaders, the government and health and aged care providers to address obstacles to Australians ageing well, bringing his extensive healthcare sector experience and knowledge to find solutions to the complex problems that beset the aged care sector. Mr. Savides has also shared his expansive networks to connect key partners to support this work. Mr. Savides served on the UTS Graduate School of Health's Pharmacy and Industry Advisory Board, and gave the occasional address to the Faculty of Health graduating students in 2018. As a UTS alumnus, Mr. Zavides received his Masters of Business Administration here in the Great Hall in 1985, having enrolled in 1981, one of the initial UTS MBA classes soon after it was introduced. He was awarded the Alumni Award for Excellence Business in 2020 and is a member of the UTS Luminaries, a group of distinguished UTS alumni. During his time on the SBS board, Mr. Zavides has chaired the SBS Board Remuneration Committee and been a member of the SBS Community Advisory Committee. He is a former chair of Macquarie University Hospital and Next Science and a current non-executive director of Insurance Australia Group Limited and Build Exact Software Limited. Mr. Zavides was born in Sydney of Greek Cypriot parents. He was the first in his family to attend university, studying at the University of New South Wales from 1975 to 1978 and graduating with an honours degree in industrial engineering. Mr. Zavides believes that service defines good leadership and has demonstrated this throughout his career. In 2020, Mr. Zavides was made a member of the Order of Australia for his service to the community, to charitable groups and to business. It is a great honour for the University of Technology Sydney to confer George Zavides AM with the award Fellow of the University in recognition of his significant contribution to the healthcare sector, business and the wider community, and his service to UTS. Pro-Chancellor, in recognition of his outstanding contribution to the university, I ask you to admit George Zavides AM as a Fellow of the University.
By the authority vested in me by the Council of the University of Technology, Sydney, I admit George Zavides AM as a Fellow of the University. I'd now like to invite Professor Carl Rhodes, Dean of UTS Business, to present the graduates.
Pro-Chancellor, I invite graduates in the UTS Business School to stand. Pro-Chancellor, the UTS Council has resolved that candidates recommended to it by the Faculty Board in Business as eligible for awards have completed all requirements of a course of study approved by the Board and has conferred these awards upon them. Pro-Chancellor, I now present those graduates from the UTS Business School who are here before you to acknowledge the awards for which they have qualified.
On behalf of the University, on behalf of the Council of the University of Technology Sydney, I congratulate the graduates on their achievements in obtaining the awards for which they have qualified.
Graduates, please be seated. Pro-Chancellor, UTS Business School conducts innovative research across all major business disciplines. Our aim is to produce research which is not only academically excellent, but also knowledge that impacts the world in which we live. Pro-Chancellor, I present to you graduates receiving research degrees. The following students have graduated with the Doctor of Philosophy. Aguilera Hernandez Grande, for a thesis entitled Contagious Employee Wellbeing, Examining Organizational and Team Influences on Employee Wellbeing Through a Multi-Level Lens, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Professor Simon Darcy and Co-Supervisor Dr. Mihaela Gavin. Pro-Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Aguilera Hernandez Grande. Margaret Mary Malone for a thesis entitled Reimagining the Research Article, Participation, Dialogue, and the Radical Potential of an Ecology of Knowledges, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Emeritus Professor Jennifer Onyx and co-supervisors Professor Paul Ashton and Professor Simon Darcy. Pro-Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Margaret Mary Malone. Heine Marine for a thesis entitled Repatriation and Cross-Border Transfer of Knowledge, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Dr. Najmeh Hassanli and co-supervisors Dr. Pavlina Dyavovska, Professor Nico Schulenkorf, and Professor Hussein Ramal. Pro-Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Heine Marine. Louise O'Flynn for a thesis entitled Exploring the Challenge of Financial Sustainability of the Publicly Managed Terrestrial Protected Area Estate in New South Wales, Australia, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Dr. Stephen Schweinsberg and co-supervisor Associate Professor Stephen Waring. Pro-Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Louise O'Flynn. Matilda South for a thesis entitled Enterprising Interns, Interns' Lived Experiences of Their Employability Development in a Neoliberal World, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Dr. Mihaela Gavin and co-supervisors Professor Carmel Foley and Dr. Martine Bursma. Pro-Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Matilda South. Lewis Bryn Wales for a thesis entitled We Are a Team of Leaders, Relational Leadership in Professional Sport, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Dr. Stephen Frawley and co-supervisors Dr. Natalia Nikolova and Dr. Adam Cohen. Pro-Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Lewis Bryn Wales. Pro-Chancellor, we will now present to you our coursework graduates receiving awards today.
The following students have graduated with the Advanced Master of Business Administration, Patrick Shawsher-Kelso. Executive Master of Business Administration, Peter Charles Camilleri. Bridget Ma. Pero Radosevich. Executive Master of Business Administration in Entrepreneurship, Bianca Friedrich. Holly Garber. Shai Habit. Sophie Jane Ritchie. Rinawati Alita Sitohang. Master of Business Administration, Brandon Kramer. James Michael DeCunha. Rajeshwari Dodamani. Isabella Jelisaveta Ferber. Rebecca Hoolins. Nikki Michelle Kelso. Cha Ching Lee. Timothy James Mackay. Siobhan Joan McGowan. Leon Vaughn McGrath. Alexandra Mitchison. Dimas Evan Mulyawan. Cormac O'Connor. Vo Huai An Fan. Mark Leo Phillips. Ruth Jennifer Sedillo. Ayesha Shahi. Soumya Shukla. Alexander Ramos Sitoros. Ying Wang. E.K. Wong. Bonnie T. Wan Yao. Jing Yi Zhao. Master of Business Administration, Master of Property Development, Ming Ngok Nguyen. Bachelor of Design in Integrated Product Design, Graduate Diploma in Business Administration with Distinction, Master of Business Administration, Sally Carson. Graduate Diploma in Business Administration with Distinction, Master of Business Administration, Paris Renee Carey. Graduate Diploma in Business Administration, Master of Business Administration, Vishal Vishnu Sarawale. Master of Event Management, Tirachanan Aungkao. Ka Wing Tang. Yu Qing Shu. Bachelor of Design in Interior Architecture, Master of Event Management, Sheng Lai Piao. Master of Human Resource Management, Paris Carano. Xin Lan Chen. Rong Huang. Aisha Nasir. Ye Chit O. Yu Tong Song. Dong Yu Wang. Bachelor of Communication, Public Communication, Master of Human Resource Management, Hong Wei Yu. Master of Management, Tahura Farah Jolahi. Gemma Lee Hadley. Xin Shu Huang. Lulu Jiang. Danu Ngon. Taeyong Long Tan. Viswanthan Thanakumar. Xin Yue Wu. Bachelor of Business, Master of Management, Peng Yun Zhao. Bachelor of Management, Master of Management, Zhengxi Cai. Master of Not-for-Profit and Social Enterprise Management, Madeline Claire Neely. Master of Sport Management, Jennifer Roslyn Bolster. Jia Chi Cai. Jun Lin Chen. Hao Yu Chiang. Tasha Ann Deal. Eric Moore. Si Yu Tao. Fei Wang. Master of Strategic Supply Chain Management, Edelyn Custodio. Gong Liang Li. Navaneeth Sadasvian. Ngoc Tiet Dong Nguyen. Bo Wang. Liang Yuan Zheng. Graduate Diploma in Business Administration with Distinction, Mark Treguta. Graduate Diploma in Business Administration, Vin Wong. Graduate Diploma in Event Management, Jacinta Effendi. Bachelor of Entrepreneurship Honours, Jamie Mary Mader. Antonella Minarelli. Bachelor of Entrepreneurship Honours, Bachelor of Science in Games Development with Distinction, Diploma in Innovation, Jonah James Newton. Bachelor of Management with Credits, Bachelor of International Studies, Natasha Elizabeth King. Bachelor of Business with Distinction, Ding Nan Jiang. Manichan Keolasi. Lilisha Sherchan. Ming Chiang Su. Ching Wen. Bi Chao Xu. Bi Luan Xu. Ying Chao Yang. Bachelor of Business with Credit, Diploma in Languages, Kui Zhuang Nguyen. Bachelor of Business with Credit, Emily Doyle. Pei Luo. Dan Chen Shao. Yuhe Zhang. Nuo Xuan Zhao. Bachelor of Business, Elizabeth Abajo. Dim Queen Ban. Zihao Chen. Andrew Choi. Andrew Sidney Cotton. Jia Yue Ge. Guranj Kaur. Rungze Liang. Riticek Fidden. Evan Fitria Putra. Meng Yuan Ren. Hiroyuki Uchino. Luke Stewart Veron. Zuo Hao Shi. Ziyue Zhuang. Bachelor of Management with Distinction Diploma in Innovation, Zoe Rose Harrell. Bachelor of Management with Distinction, Eden Tai Cook. Kiara Glenda Hadyani. Zoe Diana Harrison. Benjamin Mackay Jones. Tiffany Lau. Cindy Leah Amor Prado. Margarita Rai. John Rizk. Simon Patrick Sharp. Bachelor of Management with Credit Diploma in Innovation, Gabriel Alexei Kodorchar. Bachelor of Management with Credit Diploma in Languages, Luna Che Toa Neshama. Bachelor of Management with Credit, Ryan Fox. Tia Galanos. Jackson Dylan Keeley. Peter Clardis. Jade Cortes. Liana Latazara. Seng Hong Lim. Caitlin Ella Lucas. Kristen Rose Murad. Kavin Naidu. Noah Aiden Rodrigo Piedasa. James Adrian Regan. Miriam Spiliotti. Jasmine Tar. Zi Xing. Bachelor of Management, Cheonju An. Ying Chao Chen. Isabella Constandelia. Shahed Talib Hamadi. A. Young Kim. Ko Xuan Lo. Daniela Niasek. Ma Len Seng. Alan Tung. Lee Dan Yao.
Pro-Chancellor, this concludes the presentation of graduates from the UTS Business School.
On behalf of the UTS Council and the university more broadly, I would like to start by once again congratulating our new graduates. Graduation is a big deal. It's a tradition that dates back to medieval times when universities first emerged from Europe. The formality of this tradition and this timeless ceremony is proportional to the hard work, dedication, and courage in many ways necessary to make it to this point. And as a graduating cohort, I think it's fair to say that you've faced more than your usual challenges along the way. Perhaps we should be rewarding you a master's degree in resilience for prevailing over the challenges that a global pandemic has thrown at you. So enjoy this moment. You have every right to do so, and you've earned it. Now, your friends and family and mentors who have supported you in getting to this point also should enjoy this moment and are deserving of your thanks in many ways. Now, UTS is an incredibly highly regarded institution. Our field-weighted citation index, which is the gold standard in the measurement of research quality, places UTS at the very highest level among Australian universities. Moreover, UTS prioritises connections with industry and in equipping graduates with the sort of education that has practical application. And our reputation among employers reflects this. And this is good because you will face many challenges going forward. The workplace is changing at an unprecedented pace in response to technological advancements, demographic shifts, and societal changes. The traditional career path of finding a stable job and climbing the corporate ladder is no longer the norm. Instead, many workers are embracing a more flexible and entrepreneurial approach to work, with freelancing, contract work, and remote work becoming increasingly common. The rise of automation and artificial intelligence is also reshaping the nature of work, with many routine tasks being automated and employees being encouraged to develop more complex skills that require creativity and critical thinking. Now, despite these challenges, the opportunity that awaits you is limitless. With hard work, determination, and a willingness to learn, you have the power to shape your own future and make a positive impact on the world around you. Now, ChatGPT wrote those last two paragraphs for me, which is, I suppose, both scary and amazing. But I think it is emblematic of the powerful force that technological evolution is playing in our world, and a force that can be for good or for otherwise. Now, interestingly, the GPT-4 algorithm used the words, "make a positive impact on the world around you." Now, I'm not going to patronise you by simply urging you or imploring you to do good, partly because I don't think that is an effective strategy. In 1989, by way of illustration, Michael Lewis, who is the author of many books that many of you would know, The Blind Side, Moneyball, and The Big Short, wrote his first book, which was called Liar's Poker, and it chronicled the excesses and, at times, questionable conduct among financial markets professionals. And Lewis, in many ways, intended this book to be a cautionary tale in the hope that young, smart people would become marine biologists rather than, in his case, bond salesmen. Unfortunately, the book kind of had the opposite effect. Graduates flocked to financial markets in their droves. And I guess the fact is, it's not up to someone preaching to you to determine your future. It's very much up to you. It's up to you to choose your path, and in fact, up to you to choose the values on which those choices are made. And what I would urge you to do is to do that consciously and thoughtfully. Don't just blindly go with the flow. And in many ways, it's the behaviour that seems okay because it's all around you that can end up failing what some people call the front page test. And so imagine every now and again how you would feel if your activities ended up on the front page of the paper. So the test goes. If you're comfortable with that, then you pass the front page test. And it's worth thinking about that in light of, various scandals which are in our newspapers over the last year. The PwC scandal in relation to leaking government tax secrets, for example, or perhaps in a little more distant history as it relates to your industry, the BBSW and LIBOR rate fixing scandals. Now, in many ways, with the benefit of hindsight, it's easy to be critical, and it's hard to think charitably of anyone involved in these scandals. But I'm sure many of the people caught up in these situations felt like it was okay because everyone around them was doing it, and it was just the way the game was played, and it was not their role to stand in the way. I think taking a step back and thinking about something like the front test can be helpful in those circumstances. Steve Jobs once said, "Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice, and most importantly, have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition." Now, this is often reflected on, as is much of Steve Jobs' genius, in the context of exciting opportunities for creation. But I think it applies equally well, and it's equally instructive in terms of standing up for what your heart tells you is not the right thing to do. Socrates said of education that it is the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. Well, I hope that we at UTS have been successful in kindling yours, and that through time you will adopt a lifelong learning philosophy, and that you can think of UTS as a partner in keeping that flame burning. And I hope you'll stay connected to your new alma mater. The original meaning of alma mater means nourishing mother, and the global UTS community is now 280,000 strong, and you are now part of that community, and I invite you to continue to gain nourishment from it. So once again, may I congratulate you and and wish you every success in applying the skills and knowledge that you've gained from our world-class institution. I'd now like to invite George Savides, AM, to deliver the occasional address.
Well, good afternoon, Pro-Chancellor Richard Howes, Deputy Vice-Chancellor Professor Glenn Whitewick, Dean of the UTS Business School, Carl Rhodes, University Secretary and Director, Mr. Bill Patterson, and the Chair of the Academic Board, Professor Anthony Dooley. Well, it's a privilege to be here this afternoon. Seeing the graduates as you came out to receive your honours has revived a special moment, great memories for me back in 1985 when I received my MBA on this stage. My wife was sitting in the crowd there with our first son, little Pete, who was 2 months old. She was really worried that he was going to make a noise. Any infants out there, you can make lots of noises. Okay. Every journey into the future is different. Some graduates start out with a specific career goal. They have specific aspirations, while others look forward to a rewarding journey, destination unknown. Well, I fell into that latter category. I didn't set out to be a CEO 3 times over or pick up all these board roles that I currently have. I was a graduate engineer and I wanted to make a meaningful contribution to the world of work in a manufacturing context. Just after a few years, in my first engineering role, I found myself leading a manufacturing workforce, trying to optimise production quality, cost targets, and key customer delivery schedules for our output. The decision to enrol in the UTS MBA was prompted by my first boss, Rod Cooper, who later became a great mentor. He felt my career would benefit by expanding my engineering skills to include business and leadership capabilities offered in the UTS MBA. So I enrolled. I was in one of those early classes. We met at Brickfield Hill in George Street, down in Ultimo, and it was 2 nights a week for 4 years while we kept the day job going. The lecturers also had day jobs, many of them. They would come in and teach at night, sharing their great skills. It was a terrific environment. Very fond memories. Very much appreciate what UTS provided me. Today I'm excited to share what I discovered and what made the difference for that unplanned journey that led me into leadership roles. You might be sitting there today thinking, well, I'm not sure I want to be in a leadership role, but I want to challenge you that in whatever area of focus you go forward with, leadership will be next to you. It will appear as you work in teams, look after teams, and possibly organisations. It's the personalisation of the skills that you've obtained that made the big difference in my experience. It's the way you show up with all of that talent, the way it's expressed, in the way you connect with others, peers and teams and customers and patients, whatever area of beneficiary you service. It's how you show up that matters. So let me say a few things about that. The way you express leadership skills often occurs prior to the formal appointment of a leadership position. That's what happened for me. I kept doing things to make things happen, helping teams align, deal with bottlenecks, make things happen, encourage the team to give their best, and then the opportunity to step up into a formal leadership role came its way. You might go into the workforce in the next chapter of your journey in one of 3 pathways. It could be individual mastery. You become a subject matter expert of some area of your endeavour in education and research. Or you could be a team player contributor, a natural listener, shaping team direction and alignment, overcoming those roadblocks within organisations. A sort of a mindset like a conductor or a coach comes naturally to you. Things get done on your watch. Or it could be that you come to the next assignment with this sense of purpose and mission, inspiring the team, articulating the why of the organisation, seeking to do something that makes the future more sustainable on this planet Earth, or meeting unmet needs of customers or patients, whatever that beneficiary is. Inspiring a movement to galvanise collective effort, overcome self-interest mindsets, focusing the organisational culture on customer, those who rely on the mission. Such leadership might be characterised by belief and conviction. It straddles tangible to intangible. Despite the odds, we will find a way. These dimensions of individual expertise and conviction, teamwork, empathy, solving unsolvable problems, I discovered that I didn't actually have to be good at all of them. It was something that existed already. It was in the teams that I was asked to lead. And the sort of penny dropped for me in the sense when I thought, this thing about career, ambition, had to somehow be recalibrated to be invested in the mission and the purpose of the organisation and the people that enabled it. Less about me and more about the assignment I was given. The great thing about it was that in doing it that way, whatever sort of career idea I might have had was brought back in multiples later on. It made the difference in high-performing teams that produced outcomes that opened more doors. The best example of that I can remember was actually in a simulation. I was about 10 years into the CEO assignment at Medibank, and I was sort of near, I was either going to move on or recharge. And the float was looming, and the assignment said, no, we want you to go through that process. So I indulged in a 2-week CEO immersion course at Oxford with 30 other CEOs to invest in a sort of expressive form of leadership discovery. You know, we had the son of Sir Laurence Olivier, Richard Olivier, come and unpack Henry V for us, transcribing it into a leadership model. It was really interesting. I won't go there today. The one that sort of sticks in my mind was the Danish conductor who flew over for the course, whose name was Peter. And he taught us how to conduct, he was trying to teach us how to conduct a choir. You know, these 30 stilted, commercially focused CEOs who spend most of their lives in numbers and forecasts and board meetings and stuff. And we were asked to get ready to conduct a choir. And so we flapped our arms a bit in the preparatory session with a baton. He sort of showed us what to do. And then 30 grads came in from music school at Oxford, and they centred around the old music hall at Oxford, centuries-old building. And the 30 CEOs were matched in the line to go up and conduct. And I was, with my height, strategic advantage, I hid behind some of the taller guys. And Peter, the conductor, called out the first name and said, George, I want you to come first and show us how to conduct this choir. So I got found out. So he gave me the score, the business plan, the objective, and he said, I want you to conduct the choir. And I looked at it and I said, well, Peter, these notes on the page here, they're musical notes. I don't read music. I'm an engineer. Not all engineers don't read music, but... And he said, oh, that's fine. And but also the words are in German. It's an old German hymn, and that's not my skill. He said, that's okay, George. I didn't ask you to read German. I asked you to step up and lead the team. I said, okay. So I sort of got ready and stood up and was nervous. I knew if I started to move my hands and nothing happened, I would diminish in stature. I'd be a bit foolish. And I think Peter knew what was going on, and he asked me, so what's your problem now, George? And I explained about my concern about being silly. And he said, well, you know what? When was leadership about you? So I stepped up. I lifted my hands with the baton. I drew the attention of the choir. They looked at their hymn note, their music, and I moved my hands. And these beautiful voices. And I moved them up, and they soared. I moved my hands down. I was captured by the talent in the team. All kinds of different talent, but all on the same page, focused to give the world a beautiful song. So I took that home, I wrestled through that, and I thought, yes, this leadership thing is very much more about what you unlock in terms of the talent of teams that you've been given responsibility for in your assignment. That's what leaders do. They're less about themselves. They're more invested in mission and purpose, but they get their own self-joy back by the yield that comes from a flourishing team that becomes high-performing and produces wonderful outcomes for the assignment that they've been given. C.S. Lewis once wrote about humility. He once wrote, it's not about thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. And that's that subtlety about leaders. When teams know that the leader is invested in them, they're in a safe place. And when that team is confronted by unsolvable or wicked problems to deal with, that safe place that the leader places that team gives them an opportunity to make some calls, to risk, to support each other, and that creativity through collaboration produces powerful outcomes in team high performance. So my advice, having gone to the future and come back to the MBA graduate class and others here today in the doctorate, when you lead, invest in the team. Think of yourself as not the best skill set around that team, but the coach or the conductor of that team. I've been reading up about Ange Postecoglou and the Tottenham story in the soccer world in the UK. A team that's got lots of champions in it, but just can't get off the bottom of the table. And this new coach comes along and something happens. I did find out that he has quite a strong strategy about gameplay, but he also has a way of connecting hearts and minds through a humble approach that gives space for the team to come closer and to bond and to do amazing things. That's what I wish for you today. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, we take great care at UTS in selecting our occasional speaker, and obviously the speech today by Mr. George Savvides was no exception. Listening to him speak, I was listening to some of the words as he talked about his journey, and having stood up here and introduced him and described the incredible career that he's experienced and all the wonderful opportunities. But I was listening to his words: destination, unknown, leadership, teamwork, inspiration, conviction, listening, empathy, and purpose. And all through that, there was one word that I was waiting to hear, and finally we heard that in a quote from C.S. Lewis about humility. And I think you'll agree with me that there is an occasional speaker that we had today who demonstrated enormous humility in his journey and his ability to share that with us today. So please join me in thanking our occasional speaker, Mr. George Savvides.
Pro-Chancellor, guests and graduates, that occasional address concludes the formal proceedings of this ceremony. On behalf of the Pro-Chancellor, I invite you to join the official party for refreshments. These will be served in the Great Foyer and in the balcony room adjoining this hall. The photography, framing and memorabilia services are located on level 4, which is one floor below us. The academic procession is about to leave the Great Hall. As it does, I invite our new graduates to join the procession, which will end in the balcony room. Would the congregation please rise for the academic procession?